Leo starts right now.
Hi, happy Friday. It's October 8th.
Welcome to your almost weekend. We just got to get through the workday first. Another one of those studies that really makes sense when you think about it. Having a sense of purpose is linked to better memory.
So yeah, this is from researchers out in Florida State University. They find a link between an individual's sense of purpose and their ability to remember vivid details.
Notably, while both a sense of purpose and strong cognitive function help when it comes to memory skills and recollection, only purpose helped specifically regarding memory, vividness, and coherence.
So participants with a sense of purpose in life told researchers their memories were more accessible, coherent, and vivid than other participants with less purpose. So people with more purpose also shared more sensory details, recalled their memories in the first person, and generally reported more positive feelings than negativity when asked to recall something.
For what it's worth, the study does not suggest that depression or negative thoughts have a detrimental impact on memory vividness.
And this is actually not the first research project to establish an association between purpose and stronger episodic memory, but it is the first to show a link between purpose and memory richness.
This kind of stuff fascinates me as we find out more about diseases like Alzheimer's and dementia. It sheds new light on that and hopefully continue to start to wage a stronger battle against those diseases.
Yeah, and maybe efforts for prevention as well.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, let's look at today's 9 at 9.
Pfizer is requesting emergency authorization for its COVID vaccine in kids ages 5 to 11. The company says trials show the vaccine was safe and effective in that age group. The FDA will meet October 26th to review Pfizer's data, and then the CDC must sign off.
The search continues for a 3-year-old boy southeast of College Station. The family says they were unloading the groceries while the boy was playing with a neighbor's dog. Moments later, they say they noticed the boy was gone. Heat sensors, dive teams, and specialty canines from the Department of Corrections are being used in the search effort.
A plan to boost the U.S. debt ceiling temporarily is heading to the House. It cleared the Senate Thursday night with 11 Republicans helping Democrats pass it. The plan will provide an extra $480 billion that should last until early December. Representatives will vote on the measure October 12th.
More than a dozen former NBA players have been busted in a multi-million-dollar insurance scam. At least 18 players fabricated appointments and procedures by chiropractors, dentists, and other doctors. 16 players were arrested and charged yesterday for false claims totaling $3.9 million.
For the first time in a month, first-time jobless claims are down. The Labor Department says about 326,000 Americans filed unemployment claims last week. That's down 38,000 from the week before. The monthly jobs report for September is due out this morning.
Journalists Maria Ressa and Dmitry Muratov have been awarded the 2021 Nobel Peace Prize for their courageous fight for freedom of expression in the Philippines and Russia.
Tesla is moving its headquarters from Silicon Valley to Austin. CEO Elon Musk shared the news at a shareholder meeting yesterday. Musk has been building a factory in Texas for more than a year. His aerospace company, SpaceX, is also located here.
The dating app Tinder is teaming up with Lyft on a new feature that will allow users to buy a Lyft ride for a potential date. Tinder says that offering a free guaranteed ride home could be the ticket for getting that date with someone who may be hesitant.
Lego's releasing a 53-inch replica of the Titanic. The company says it's accurate with detailed inner rooms. It's got more than 9,000 pieces. The Lego Titanic costs over $600. That's today's 9 at 9. Another one of those super expensive Lego sets.
Yeah, very expensive, but very detailed and very impressive.
I saw a weird video today. Some guy throwing a Lego Star Wars Star Destroyer off the second floor of a building down into the foyer.
Oh no!
I have no idea why, but of course it went into like 3 million pieces.
Right. Oh my goodness! I thought. Oh goodness! No, that's a lot of work to just shatter to pieces.
No explanation. Just kind of happened.
Interesting. I'd say keep them together and keep them on display.
We recommend keeping it together best you can, especially on a Friday.
Of course.
Get it together, right? Keep it together.
That's the goal.
It's been one of those weeks. We go outside for you right now. We got clear skies. It is going to be another nice day, very similar to what we've seen last couple of days. Let's look at the current temperatures. And most of us are in the 60s and 70s now. Things are starting to warm up. 71 at the airport, 66 in Rock Springs, 72 out in Del Rio. Look at the next 3 days. This does not look like fall at all. 91 today, 92 tomorrow, 94 on Sunday. And not only is it going to be hot Sunday, we're going to be dealing with humidity too. So that 94 is going to feel like 97, 98. A very hot weekend, but we do have some relief next week in the form of some rain showers, I think. Pollen count is in. Mold, ragweed, moderate. About where they were yesterday. Pigweed and fall elm are low. And if we can go to the next graphic, there we go. Headlines today. Humidity returns this weekend. It will be hot, as we just said. Sunday night, there's a small window for rain. Sunday night, early Monday morning, but don't look for much. I don't think we're going to get a lot of rain out of that. The better chance comes middle part of next week, and there could be a tropical connection with this. We'll explain about that in a little bit, but that means we could see some better chances for rain. In the meantime, 90 degrees today, sunny skies, and southerly winds 5 to 10 miles per hour, guys.
I agree, Justin. Although I do like the rhyming. It does not look like fall at all.
Not at all.
Not at all. But there's a look there at Highway 90 at 36th, and things are looking good right now.
Top stories for falling for you. At least a dozen people left with nowhere to go this morning after a fire completely destroyed an apartment building on the city's north side.
It happened in the 1700 block of Jackson Keller around 3 a.m. San Antonio Fire Department officials say when they got there, they saw a 16-unit apartment building up in flames.
More than 20 fire crews were on the scene at the peak of the fire. They say that's roughly 100 firefighters.
We had some issues worrying about it spreading to the neighboring buildings because of the amount of fire we had. Crews were able to keep that from happening, so we're very fortunate that it didn't spread. This could have been a lot worse than it is. It's horrible that we lose an entire building, but it could have been a lot worse.
Fortunately, no one was injured. The cause of the fire remains under investigation.
And we're going to have a complete report on the KSAT News at noon.
Well, San Antonio police say they fired shots at a man who they say pulled a gun and pointed it at officers right outside a Northwest Side convenience store this morning.
Police say it all started after they heard gunshots near Babcock and Wurzbach roads just after 2 a.m. And police say that's when officers approached a man and woman in a red pickup truck. They say the woman got out of that truck, but the man stayed inside.
Officers tell us they then pulled out a gun and pointed it at the officers. Police say officers shot at the man before he drove away. They tell us the woman was taken in custody for questioning, but is not a suspect. A man's in critical condition after a shooting on the far northwest side overnight.
It happened in a cul-de-sac near the Valley Ranch Community Center on Valley Lake near Culebra Road. Investigators say 3 men were sitting in a vehicle when someone drove up and asked if they wanted to buy drugs.
When the men said no, deputies say the suspect got angry and started shooting. One of the men was hit in the stomach and was taken to a hospital. The suspect got away and has not yet been found. Other morning headlines: scaffolding collapses in Hong Kong, leaving 1 dead, and an officer saves another officer from a car spinning out of control.
And an incredible accomplishment from a double amputee. And how much would you pay for a painted plate? David Sears is here.
Morning.
Happy
And
Friday.
would you eat off the plate?
Depends on how much we paid.
Yeah, there you go. We'll get to that in just a second. But first, we're going to start in Hong Kong. And look at this mess. This is a traditional bamboo scaffolding. It collapsed. It's next to a high-rise under construction in a residential area. From the ground, you can tell it was several stories high and got that look from above the building. Several workers were rescued. However, one later died at the hospital. Several people in a couple of cars were also buried under the rubble, and they were rescued, one sent to the hospital. The scaffolding apparently brought down by heavy wind and rain from a tropical cyclone. Virginia Highway, police crews are on the side of the road, 2 officers, and look out. Wow, how close was that? That is Officer Jessica McCraw and Officer Matthew Stewart. They were investigating an accident when they almost got taken out. McCraw had her back turned, and just at the right moment, Stewart was able to pull her out of the way. If you look closely, you can also see a couple of other people standing there, and they were able to jump out of the way as well. There were no major injuries. Stewart said his leg did go numb like he had a Charlie horse, though. From saving each other to saving a great horned owl. Pretty bird. That is Sergeant Croppo, member of the Idaho State Police. She answered the call. The bird was caught in some plastic on the side of the highway. Drivers called police. The sergeant showed up to make the rescue. She held on to the bird until animal experts arrived. The owl's fine, was released away from the highway. And meet Rustam Nabiev. He is from Russia and is a double amputee. And yes, he is climbing a mountain. Matter of fact, he's the first person in the world to scale Mount Manaslu in Nepal. Ian Bev was a paratrooper, had lost both legs in a building collapse back in 2015. He took about 34 days for him to reach the top of the mountain along with his expedition. That summit, 26,700 feet. He said he wanted to show people that anything in life can be accomplished as long as people act. And finally this morning, we'll leave you with a rare dish. Look at this thing. That's not just a plate. That is a work of art from a famous 16th century Italian ceramist. The dish is 11 inches in diameter. It just sold during an online auction for $1.4 million. It is believed that the art was created back in 1520 to 1523. It depicts the Bible story of Samson and Delilah. The plate was found in a drawer of a house out in the countryside of Scotland.
Wow.
$1.4 million. So the question is, would you eat off that plate?
Absolutely not.
Gonna stick with the chinette?
Yeah.
Yep.
Or a paper plate.
So, no, probably not. I mean, I guess macaroni and cheese probably ruined the paint job.
Oh, I don't even want to think about putting that on there.
No, that's the kind of
way.
plate you put on a shelf.
Yes.
Or in a drawer.
Or in a drawer. In Scotland.
Get
of all
millions
places.
for it. That's pretty good, yeah.
Right. David, thank you very much. We're going to see more of you later on.
Be back in a few.
All right, lots more David Sears, and that's not a bad thing. 9:09, about 70 degrees still ahead on GMSA at 9.
A new Halloween movie full of spooky and fun moments is out today. Still ahead, we have a preview of Muppets Haunted Mansion.
Some of the most important security missions across mass transit include the San Antonio Airport are in the hands of paws or canines. Just ahead on GMSA at 9, Alicia Beretta has a behind-the-scenes look at what these canines are tasked with and the training they undergo.
And welcome back. It's about 9:12. Some of the most efficient tools to detect, deter, and respond to threats throughout the nation's mass transit systems, including airports, are canines.
Currently, there are more than 1,000 canine teams part of the Transportation Security Administration tasked with security missions, including screening passengers and cargo.
Alicia Beretta joins us live in the studio with a behind-the-scenes look of the canine and training and their capabilities.
Good morning.
Good morning. Well, that training is actually carried out here in San Antonio, JBSA Lackland to be exact. They house the TSA National Explosives Detection Canine Program, not only for TSA, but also for local law enforcement-led canine teams. It's an extensive process that the U.S. government has invested a lot of money in to keep you safe while traveling.
Good. 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 Good.
They're wired for smell. While humans have about 5 million scent receptors, some dog breeds have up to 100 million or more.
Good life choices. Good.
These dogs are looked at as professional athletes.
Which means dogs have the capability of breaking down odors that humans simply can't.
Good.
Our dogs are well versed on finding most all types of explosives.
These are the TSA Explosive Detection Canines and Passenger Screening Canines.
And they search static objects such as vehicles, terminals, baggage, aircraft, things that you would expect.
They're handpicked for personality, ability, and mindset, considered to be the largest canine program in the Department of Homeland Security. Each year, TSA trains an average of 325 canine teams to operate in mass transit, cargo, aviation, and maritime environments.
We have 17 indoor training facilities and 6 outdoor venues, and those consist of various different types of situation or venues, such as we have a building that looks just like a wide body aircraft when you walk into it. They have to go through scenarios in those type of environments, and they have to find live explosives in those environments.
Distractors like food, noise, and people are integrated to the training to make sure nothing throws off these canines.
You can imagine walking into the San Antonio airport for the first time for a dog is a huge thing. So we have to make sure that all this training that we're doing translates into a successful dog in the field.
Fascinating to see, and so much history. Explosive detection canines were first used in 1972 by the Federal Aviation Administration after an NYPD canine actually detected an explosive device on an aircraft impressing President Nixon. And almost 50 years later, it's evolved with TSA, and currently there are 1,097 certified teams assigned to strategic locations protecting the nation, and they all got their start here in San Antonio, which is just fascinating.
Yeah, and here in San Antonio, is there an explosive detection canine here
Well, ironically, even though they train here, there has never been a canine assigned to San Antonio Airport, but that recently changed. And on Monday, I'll actually be sharing the story of who that canine is, the team, and what they do here in San Antonio.
Fantastic. All right, more to the story. Thank you, Alicia.
Thank you.
Justin Horn is here, and we're talking about a weekend forecast that includes another improbable jump in humidity. I mean, it is fall, right?
That's what the calendar says. That's not what that's not the game Mother Nature's playing at this point, because it is going to be in the mid-90s by Sunday. Heat's kind of the first part of the story. And then as we get into next week, some pretty interesting developments. So let's jump right in. First off, let's go outside for you. We've got blue skies, 71 degrees, few clouds, well, according to the reporting site at the airport, but not seeing much there on live cam. Dew point is at 63, so that number's up just a little bit. And we're starting to see humidity kind of creep back in here. I don't think it'll be a big issue next couple days. 68 degrees, Bernie Sage, 61 Comfort, already 71 in Divine, 70 in New Braunfels, 72 in Del Rio, 72 right now in Cotulla, and dew points, as I mentioned, low 60s. So you are starting to feel it a little bit. And as we get into Sunday, these numbers really jump up. And that's where it starts to get sort of sticky and humid. We'll see dew points up near 70, it looks like, by late on Sunday, and that's going to contribute to a heat index. Here's a look at the forecast for today. We'll be up around 91 this afternoon, but there's not much of a heat index because those dew points do fall off a little bit this afternoon. We fast forward to Saturday, temperature right around 90, 91. Again, dew points are low enough to where there's not a heat index. But look what happens on Sunday with that humidity pouring back in. We're forecasting 94, but it'll feel like 97. Several spots down to the south and west will likely see heat indices up above 100. That'll be the case out near Gonzales, too. So a very sticky situation, so to speak, as we get into Sunday. Here's the setup, and here's why I think temperatures jump up a little bit. We have a ridge of high pressure that's going to move in over Texas and sit over top of us this weekend. Now, it doesn't stay there because there's a system behind that pushes it out of the way, and then we get some rain chances. It looks like late Sunday night into Monday. In the meantime, I want to show you the tropics, not the Atlantic, but the Pacific. Let's go down to the west coast of Mexico here. There's a developing storm system, has about an 80% chance of development. If it does get named, it would be Pamela. Why is this important to us? Because this moisture could potentially work its way up into Texas. Here's a look at the moisture content in the atmosphere. Where you see these oranges and reds, that's deep tropical moisture. Notice it starts to get pulled up into Texas as we get into Wednesday and Thursday of next week. That's going to coincide with a frontal boundary. If these two things can come together, we could get some heavier rain. There's still a lot of questions here, though. Timing. When does that front arrive? Does it stall? And how much rain are we going to see if indeed we get this deep moisture in here? It's still some questions we need to answer. As we get closer, we'll be able to get those answers for you. In the meantime, here's what the forecast looks like. I mentioned the hot weather this weekend. Frontal boundary swings through. This is a weak front. We're on the tail end of it, about a 20% chance of rain. This is Sunday night, early Monday morning. This is around 4 a.m. Monday. You could see a couple of thunderstorms pop up during this window, but we're not looking for much rain. By Monday afternoon, that all sweeps east. Tuesday looks like a quiet day. This model is showing a couple of showers. And then by Wednesday, here comes that better chance for rain as we tap into some of that moisture. 30% shot to 40% chance Wednesday. That'll be the case Thursday as well, with some heavy rain, I think, showing up. Forecast for today, 91, your high temperature, sunny skies to mostly sunny skies. Good weather tonight for football. And that hot weekend, 92 Saturday, 94 Sunday. 20% chance mainly Monday morning. We're going to go 40% chance now Wednesday and Thursday. Temperatures dip down into the 80s thanks to clouds. And we'll see kind of how that plays out. We'll be keeping a close eye on it, guys.
All right. Well, at least the humidity will pay off with some rain.
Hopefully so.
Thank you, Justin.
9:20, about 71 degrees.
And still ahead on GMSA at 9, there's a new Halloween movie out today for all the kiddos. Next, we're going to tell you about Muppets Haunted Mansion. And welcome back. It's 9:23. The Muppets and a popular Disneyland attraction join forces for a new Halloween special on Disney+.
Here's ABC's George Pinocchio with more.
All righty, boys. This is the place. You sure about this?
Oh, yeah. And can we set a pickup time for the morning?
Oh, that won't be necessary. I always drop folks off here, but I never seem to pick them up. Every time.
In Muppets Haunted Mansion, the great Gonzo takes on a new challenge, spending one night inside the Haunted Mansion, with his prawn pal Pepe by his side.
I think when you marry the Haunted Mansion with the Muppets, you know that it's going to be a little spooky, but it's also going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be music. I think it's just the perfect marriage of these two properties.
That's our specialty. We find that fine line, like
Exactly.
just find it. How'd you like to be my plus one?
Dead prawn walking.
Dead prawn walking. Great example, George. Walking the line.
Childhood dream come true being with them, and even being in this Zoom with Gonzo right now. Like, wait, come on, pinch me.
Muppets Haunted Mansion features several familiar faces. There's Will Arnett, Taraji P. Henson, Chrissy Metz, Danny Trejo, and the incomparable one and only porcine princess, Miss Piggy.
It is like riding the ride to watch our special. It kind of takes you through it step by step. And so if you're a fan of the attraction, you're going to get a lot out of it. And if you haven't been to Disneyland, you're going to love it. It's because it's so much like the ride, and the ride is so much fun. I'm mysterious, Madame Pivota. Turn it down, I can't hear myself think.
Take 5, everybody.
Where are you going? No. And it's got lots of funny jokes. Most of them are mine.
Muppets Haunted Mansion begins streaming on Disney Plus on Friday. In Los Angeles, George Pinocchio for ABC News.
Was it a reporter was asking Miss Piggy in that other interview?
Yes, in the other one.
What if you're not tall enough to ride the rides? And she said?
She said, I'll just put on my stilettos and I'll ride them anyway.
Nice.
Yeah, Miss Piggy.
Well, and speaking of Halloween, Children's Hospital of San Antonio is hosting a reverse trick-or-treat event, and they need your help.
So therapy dog Marcus is full of great doggy ideas for this year's Halloween costume, but he needs you to help pick his favorite. So you can help him decide by voting which costume you like best. Then the winner outfit will be the one Marcus will wear at the event.
He'll go to patient rooms with his handler to deliver treats. To vote on your favorite costume, visit Children's Hospital of San Antonio Foundation's website, children'shospitalsafoundation.org/Halloween. The web address right there in boldface at the banner at the bottom of your screen.
And as you can see in the pictures, you can choose from Marcus Lightyear, Marcus Hot Dog Stand, or Super Marcus.
Ooh.
That's a tough one.
That is.
I kind of like the hot dog.
I'm kind of leaning towards Marcus Hot Dog
Yeah,
too.
Me too. That's super cute.
They'd all be winners, and I know the patients will be super happy to see Marcus.
I'm glad he'll be out there doing that. So yeah, definitely put in your vote for that.
Right now, 926, about 72 degrees.
A lot more ahead on GMSA at 9. David Sears will be back in the studio to talk about sports and our big game coverage for this weekend.
And next on GMSA at 9, digital journalist Farah Sabawi joined us live to break down some of the top questions about the blocking of that abortion bill right here in Texas.
And as we head to break, a quick check of the roads. There is usually a busy spot right there at Loop 410 and San Pedro Avenue, but things are moving right now. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. A federal judge right here in Texas has blocked the state's controversial 6-week abortion ban.
The bill's design, which allows any private citizen to sue anyone who facilitates an abortion, has made it difficult for abortion rights advocates to legally challenge it. And our digital journalist Farah Sabawi is live to explain a little bit more about this ruling. Good morning, Farah.
Hey, good morning. Happy Friday to y'all.
Hey, happy Friday.
So what did the judge cite in his ruling blocking this law, Farah?
Yeah, so the Justice Department took Texas to court in federal court in Austin. And one of the big issues the Justice Department argued to get this temporary injunction was that this law was essentially sidestepping the Roe v. Wade decision that decided that abortion was a constitutional right. They had argued that this private mechanism, this private enforcement type law that Texas passed is essentially just a way to try to skirt around the issues that would have taken it straight to court. The district judge in Austin, Judge Pittman, sided with the Justice Department, saying that this was essentially what the department argued, a sidestep of constitutionally allowed practices. So for now, the law is not allowed to be enforced, but we will see how that changes.
And Farah, how are health providers reacting to that ruling?
Yeah, Stephanie. So some health providers have said that they are ready to resume abortion care and starting up as soon as possible. Others are holding off for a little bit. They're still a little bit wary. The way the law is set up, anybody who assists a woman in having an abortion would be liable, and they can be sued for up to 4 years after the procedure. So some health providers are still a little bit wary and, just hesitant to go there up until they get maybe a more permanent ruling that allows them to do this without the worry of lawsuits that, could lose them a lot of money. Even if the health providers prevail in court, they would still have to pay for their own legal fees. And so that's something that a lot of providers are just a little bit hesitant about at this point.
What are the next steps in the case, Ferris?
Yeah, Mark. So right now, the AG, Ken Paxton, said he did appeal immediately to the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals. And the reason that could be significant is that is one of the most conservative appeal courts in the country. So people who support the law are very hopeful that this appeals court could reverse that decision, issue a stay, and basically allow this law to get back and allow it to be enforced. And of course, from there, it could be appealed to the Supreme Court if they decide to hear this issue. A lot of legal battles on the way. I know we've been talking a lot these past few weeks about legal battles that go back and forth, and this will be another one to keep your eye on as it moves through the court system.
All right, Ferris Savali, thank you for joining us today.
Have a good weekend, Ferris.
Thank you.
And let's take a look outside with live cam. We're at 72 degrees, a little warmer than we were earlier this morning, but still nice.
Still nice. Still a little bit more humidity than we've been looking at last couple days. Temperatures are in the 70s now. We'll be back near 90 this afternoon. It's been a broken record kind of week. Don't worry, though. If you'd like some changes, we'll get you some changes next week. It gets a lot more active. 70 Bernie Stage right now, 70 in Canyon Lake, 70 in Gonzales, 70, popular number out there in Uvalde with clear skies for most of us. Headlines. Humidity returns this weekend. Generally on Sunday is when we're going to see the thickest humidity, and that means some heat index. It'll be heat indices. It'll be hot this weekend for sure. Sunday night, there's a small window for rain. Sunday night into early Monday morning, basically pre-dawn, there could be a couple of showers and storms, but we're not looking for much rain. Better rain chances show up next week with some deeper moisture by Wednesday and Thursday. Here's how it looks. No chance of rain through, again, Sunday night, early Monday, there is a chance, but better chances Wednesday, Thursday, 40% shot Wednesday and Thursday, and we could up those rain chances as we get a little bit closer. For today, though, 91, sunny skies, southerly winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. It'll be in the 80s when we kick off those high school football games tonight, guys.
Glad you mentioned that. Perfect segue, Justin Horn.
Yep, that's right. We're going to be talking about high school football
right now with our David Sears and another ton of big high school matchups.
A lot of great matchups tonight. It's just the weather's going to be great. A chance for you to just go out and pick one, especially if you're not associated with one of these high schools and you just like watching high school football. Just pick one, because there's a lot of great ones out there. Let's start with this one. Alamo Heights and Floresville. Now, this is a district matchup in 15-5A. This is that weird district. They've got Alamo Heights, Floresville, Bernie Champion, Lockhart, Medina Valley, and Kerrville. So they're all over South Texas for this one. But those two teams, Alamo Heights, Floresville, undefeated. Greg Simmons is going to do his pregame show there at 5 o'clock on KSAT 12 News at 5. And then we'll be over there for our pregame party at 6 and live stream about 6:30. Other games, Johnson and Roosevelt. Roosevelt's still alive in District 28 6A, so that's a big one. Clemens, Smithson Valley, they are tied with Steele 2-0 in district. And then, of course, Smithson Valley's undefeated at 5-0. Then you got New Braunfels taking on Steele, so something's going to change right there in 27 6A tonight for sure. In District 13 5A, Division 1, it is Sam Houston and Highlands. They're both starting getting into their district. Sam Houston 1-0 in district. Highlands is 0-1. And how about this one? 15-4A. Divine and Carrizo Springs. Divine is 4-1. Carrizo Springs is undefeated at 5-0. Larry Ramirez is having that game as part of his road trip tonight. So we've got all those games covered. BGC app is where you want to go to register there, and it's all free. And then you can figure out and find out what games we're going to be live streaming tonight. We got several big games on our live stream with Texas Productions. So Texas Sports Productions is going to be carrying some of those games tonight.
From high school to college ball.
All right, let's talk about this one tomorrow. Big one. You all right over there, Steph?
I'm shaking in my boots.
Already?
Yes, already.
It's not even Saturday morning yet.
I know. I was getting nervous.
Game's early, though. It's Oklahoma and Texas. Oklahoma ranked 6th, Texas ranked 21. Oklahoma undefeated. Texas is 4-1. They are undefeated in the Big 12, as is Oklahoma. Bijan Robinson, the running back for Texas, number 5, he is now in the Heisman hunt. He is like second in the nation in rushing at 130 yards a game. Casey Thompson has a big year at quarterback. And, of course, Texas is coming off that big win over TCU. Oklahoma on a 13-game winning streak. You know when that streak started? Last year with a win over Texas. Sorry, Steph.
Thanks a lot, David.
Sorry, Steph. Texas has won 3 in a row. Kickoff for that one is, I know where you're going to be tomorrow morning at 11 a.m.
Actually, well, yeah, I guess I can.
On the couch watching KSAT 12, because that's where the game is. It's, it's on our station.
Yes, that's after my little girls' volleyball game, though.
What time's their game?
Oh, yeah, I'll make it.
Yeah, see,
a little after 9.
Tell her to win fast. Gotta get home.
Fast.
Win fast.
Pressure. We got a game to watch, Rooney.
All right, elsewhere, A&M is taking on Alabama. Justin, any comments, any thoughts on this one?
We just want to try to keep it within 30 points. You know, keep it. Wow. Not get completely blown up.
Within 30.
Well, it is at Kyle Field, so.
Yeah, well, there you go.
A little bit better.
That would be worth like a touchdown, shouldn't it? When the stadium starts swaying and scare the opposition.
Crazier things have happened this year, so you never know.
Yeah.
All right. So we got that one at 7 o'clock. That was on another network. And Texas Tech and TCU played 6 p.m. in Lubbock. And then UTSA, 5-0, baby. What's Western Kentucky? Western Kentucky is 1-3, but as the coach always says, well, they're better than their record. That's always, a team could be the worst team in the country, and they're better than their record. But that's how you get your team fired up to try to go 6-0. So this is actually a conference game. UTSA is 1-0 in conference so far. And Cecily McCormick, 541 yards rushing and 6 touchdowns. He should be somewhere in the Heisman conversation, at least maybe down there somewhere in the Heisman conversation. He's having a great season. And, of course, they are not quite in the AP top 25 poll yet. They got like 10 votes last week, so another win and a 6-0 record may go a long way in getting them in the top 25. That'd be nice to see because they deserve it if they're 6-0. Yeah.
Well, if you want this kid in the Heisman Trophy conversation, I have one recommendation for you.
I'll put him in there.
Talk louder.
All right.
Yeah.
He's having a great season. And he's a San Antonio kid, so, you know.
Yeah. Well, either or would be awesome. Heisman chatter about this kid or having the team in the top 25.
Right. Both.
Both. Why
Both.
not?
Why not?
Because, they would go hand in hand. Because if you're in the top 25, you've got some great players on your team, right?
Here, here.
All right.
So, awesome.
And then, so after all that tomorrow, if you're not done with football, we got more on Sunday. Cowboys and Giants. Cowboys coming off that big win over Carolina. That one kicks off at 3:25. They're at home before they go on the road for a couple. And then the Texans are taking on New England tomorrow, or Sunday at noon. So you can watch that one.
You don't seem excited about that one at all.
I feel so sorry for the Texans.
Notice how that just kind of trailed off into nothingness.
I feel bad.
Point of clarification, David. She said she was shaking in her boots about this.
Oh, yeah, I meant my heels.
She's wearing heels.
She's wearing heels. Well,
I'm shaking in my heels.
Her Steph heels, boots are all the same.
Fair.
Thanks, David.
They're tall.
They're
Thank
tall.
you, David.
Yes.
That's
Try.
good. And don't forget, tonight, 6 o'clock, we'll be at the stadium up there at Alamo Heights.
Very good.
It's also game day for our Spurs.
And Spurs, yeah. Spurs play tonight. It's a preseason game. How can you forget the Spurs? But, they ought to play football every now and then, and we talk about it more than
Right.
No, so that's good.
Those Miami Heat guys are in town.
Have fun tonight.
Thank you, David. 9:40, about 73 degrees. Looking at Transcode right now, 410 at San Pedro. Traffic looks great, and I will repeat myself again. 9:40 on your Friday morning.
It's Friday, yes, and it's Fire Prevention Week. Next on GMSA at 9, what San Antonio firefighters are doing to spread the word about fire safety to kids. And welcome back. It's 9:44. It's Fire Prevention Week, and the San Antonio Fire Department says more children are tuning out the sounds of smoke, the smoke alarm, as the digital world grows noisier around them.
That's why they teamed up with the local creative group Megaphonic to create a PSA cartoon for San Antonio kids, families, and schools. Woody Woodward with San Antonio Fire Department says this year they have to focus to the focus rather is to have parents teach their kids what the sounds actually are.
We know it's a big problem for kids because they sleep through it, because they're used to all the noises. Their video games, their cell phone, the television, other household appliances.
And Woodward advises checking your smoke alarm in your home at least once a month. He says all you need to do is push the button on the alarm to make sure it is working.
You can see the full PSA and more education material on fire prevention at FESA.com. We just want to give you a quick reminder. Our KSAT community partners and Bexar County Commissioner Trish DeBerry are hosting a drive-through flu shot drive tomorrow.
So this is happening from 8 a.m. until noon at the Dove Ferris Athletic Complex, and that's located at the 8400 block of North Loop 1604 West.
Ferris Stadium.
Yes, right there off of
1604, kind of out towards Houseman, Bandera area, if I recall.
Yes, it's their newer complex, not the old one at Paul Taylor.
There you go. Justin is back. I think we're going to him now. Yeah, there he is. Hi, Justin. I'm Mark. That's Stephanie.
Nice to meet you guys.
Nice to meet you.
Good morning.
Yes, glad it's Friday. TGIF, right? And we're heading into the weekend with some pretty good weather. It is the heat's going to crank up a little bit, but I suppose we can deal with that for a couple days because next week is looking a little bit better. Outside right now, 71 degrees at the airport, 73 Stinson, 75 Kelly, 70 at Randolph. Not much wind out there. If we see any wind today, probably out of the south, 5 to 10 miles per hour. It's going to usher in a little bit of humidity, but not a lot. And as we look at the satellite picture, clear skies across the board here. 73 Stinson, 74 Pleasanton, 72 Bernie Stage. No cloud cover at all this morning. 73 Gonzales, 71 down there in Victoria. Forecast for today takes us into the low 90s. There won't be much of a heat index this afternoon, I don't think, with dew points probably staying in the upper 50s, low 60s. But we will see some pretty warm temperatures above average for sure. That'll be the case again tomorrow. And then look what happens on Sunday. We crank the temperatures up to 94. There's going to be humidity now, too, to play with. So these yellow numbers, they represent the heat index, the forecast heat index. And it could feel like it's in the upper 90s here in San Antonio. Could feel like it's in the triple digits in a lot of spots by Sunday afternoon. So be prepared for the heat. Dew points, they really do rise on Sunday. We got a good southeasterly wind, and that's why that number comes up. Weak frontal boundary tries to come through. This model wants to bring some dry air in briefly on Monday, but it pops right back up, that dew point, by Tuesday into Wednesday as more moisture shoves in here. High pressure in the upper levels is going to swing over top of Texas, and that's why I think that the heat is going to be fairly significant this weekend. This is kind of like one of those summer heat highs. Thankfully, it only stays for a couple of days before moving along. And then we look down to the tropics, and we mentioned this earlier. We're not talking about the Atlantic in this case. We're going to look out towards the Pacific, where there is a developing system down here. It could be Pamela, if it gets named, and it looks like it may be. There's 80% chance of development over the next 5 days. This thing will kind of hug the coast, the west coast of Mexico. Then there's a storm system out west that may pull some of this moisture towards Texas. So this is a look at the moisture in the atmosphere. The blue color represents really dry air. That's what we have over top of us now. This red and orange color represents a lot of moisture, a lot of tropical moisture in the atmosphere. And with that system, as you might imagine, as it develops, there's going to be a ton of moisture associated with it. And some of that gets pulled up into Texas. We see this every now and then. And with a frontal boundary and that moisture in place, we could see some pretty good rainfall, I think, by Wednesday into Thursday, especially on Thursday, I'm thinking at this point. So that'll be something to watch. The questions that still remain: timing. How does this front sort of time out? Does it stall? Where does it end up? And then, of course, how much rain will we get if the front does stall and the timing works out with this moisture? We'll keep you posted. I think we'll have a much better idea as we get into early next week. In the meantime, hot this weekend. Here's our first system, just the tail end of it. We get a small window for rain, about a 20% chance of some showers and a few storms late Sunday, early Monday. Then as we get into Monday afternoon, things clear out. A couple showers Tuesday. Here's that next stronger system. And this should actually say 40% chance of rain. We've upped the rain chances with some of that better tropical moisture moving in. And by Thursday at 5 o'clock, you can see that this model paints a pretty wet scenario for us. We'll see again if that's how it plays out. 91 degrees today, sunny skies in your extended forecast. We'll go 92 Saturday, 94 Sunday. Small chance of rain late Sunday, early Monday. Small chance Tuesday, and better chances Wednesday and Thursday. And with the added cloud cover and chances for rain, temperatures do come down into the 80s, which at this point sounds pretty nice, guys.
Sounds good to me. Thank you, Justin.
Time check, 9:50, about 73 degrees.
So coming up, a teen gets an absence excuse from a Broadway legend, and a couple get dressed up and recreate their wedding day 75 years after tying the knot. That's next in today's Take a Look at This.
An Atlanta teen sits out a history exam but gets an A-list absence excuse from a Broadway superstar.
So here's the hint. Alexander Hamilton. CNN's Jeremy Roth has today's Take a Look at This.
Ms. Rossner, this is Lin-Manuel Miranda. I'm sorry he can't be in U.S. history class right now, but he's with me.
When 16-year-old Luke Stevens got a chance to get a school absence excuse recorded by Hamilton superstar Lin-Manuel Miranda himself, he decided, I am not throwing away my shot. Miranda recorded the video message while attending an event in Atlanta organized by Luke's mom, Tamara Stevens, a local political activist. Luke missed a history test for the event, so Miranda recorded a message for his teacher.
We're going to go over Bill of Rights and anything you may be covering right now. We cover a lot of it in about 2.5 hours of Hamilton, but we're going to go over it in specifics now, so this is not lost time. Thank you for excusing him from class.
Luke's teacher later tweeted her reaction to the video, saying she was freaking out while the other students were taking the test, and that she plans to use songs from Hamilton in future lessons. It wasn't on Broadway, but a West Virginia couple put on a show of their own for the best possible reason, to celebrate a lifetime of marriage. Ulysses and Lorraine Dawson got dressed up and renewed their long-lasting love, recreating their original wedding ceremony. Ulysses even sported the same World War II uniform he wore in 1946, which still fit 75 years after first tying the knot.
The knot was tied over tight, and it's still holding.
For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
Aww.
Sweet.
All right, well, let's look at the forecast real quick. We're going to be in the 90s today, 91, the forecast high. And the extended forecast, we'll take it all the way up to 92 Saturday, 94 Sunday, with some chances of rain next week, maybe some heavy rain by the middle part of next week.
All right, second weekend of Austin City Limits Festival this weekend. Another big weekend of big acts.
Yeah, and so there's good news because initially all these tickets were sold out, and just this past week we see that there are some up for grabs again.
Yeah, ACL released a limited amount of tickets this week for general admission, VIP, and platinum packages.
And let's look at weekend 2. It looks like if you wanted to get 1 day general admission, that is going for $135. However, Mark and I were looking at the website, and it looks like only Sunday is available for the 1 day.
Right. So week 2 kicks off today with George Strait plus Miley Cyrus, Megan Thee Stallion, Black Pumas, Erykah Badu, and more. Saturday's main act is the one you really wanted to go see.
Yes, I wanted to see Billie Eilish, but of course the 1 day is out, unless I wanted to buy the 3 day, which is $300.
Sunday, Duran Duran and Tyler, the Creator, take the stage. All this on KSAT.com. Have an awesome weekend.
Bye, guys.